Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Brian James and this is DB Automotive. This channel's basically there to show my love for travel, which we'll get into, and for the clubman style cars, which you can see that I'm working on behind me. If you've watched some of the videos before, you know that each week I give you a bit of an update on what I've done during the week and on the weekends. My basic philosophy is that every step forward, no matter how small it is still a step forward, and I hope that a little bit of that rubs off and you get your own projects either underway or carried on the way. Okay, so this week we're basically looking at brake lines. Let's have a grab. Now these are the old brake lines. Now some are copper, which is now illegal in New Zealand. Most are steel. They're old. They're a little bit rusty. The fittings certainly were rusty. So what I've done, if you can see, I've just wire wheeled the fittings, and they will be used again. Basically, it's all about saving money. I don't have a lot of it, so I try and make sure that I spend it wisely. And so the fittings have all been on a wire brush. We use one at work, a rotary wire wheel. And so they've cleaned up nicely. They will get painted black. I've got some zinc etched black so that they don't rust. And so once we've formed all new lines and they're fitted, they'll just get a quick spray of black just to protect them. Also, over the week, I got a new clutch master cylinder. They're nice and cheap. The old one had been completely seized, so I reconditioned it as well, and it will go into my spares kit. But we've got a new one of them, which will get fitted sooner rather than later. Now, from the last video, you'll now notice I've got both wheels on. So what I'll do is, if you just bear with me for a second, I will grab you and we'll show you what we've done. Okay, hang on a sec. Right, now you've been grabbed. So we've replaced all the old bolts, replaced them with new high tensile zinc, so they're protected. You'll notice now that there's threads sticking out of most of them. I'll go over to the other side. We can come over the top here, and that little bit of thread that is, there we go, sticking out is a legal requirement for New Zealand. Okay, so I'll now put you back. Sorry you get a view of me like that. So that's basically it. Next week, over the next week or so, I'm going to start fitting the back bodywork. Now remember, I don't rivet these, I bolt them in, so I can start fitting them. I've got to make up little spaces to clamp down on them. And so we'll be going through that while I'm waiting to have the brakes done. I've also got to get brand new wheel bearings, which won't be a hell of a lot. There's probably nothing wrong with these, and again they'll go into the spares kit, but I would rather have new ones just because they're cheap enough and you may as well do it. I've also got to recondition the front and rear brakes, so I've got to get in kits for those. So once they're done and the brake lines are in and everything's working, then I can concentrate on getting the engine running, and we're almost ready. We're almost ready then. Look, you know, I love to talk about these cars. If you've watched some of my other videos, you'll know that I can talk forever about them. You know, I'm Gen X. I know, I have to admit it. And if you're Gen X, look, you remember as a kid, you would go out and ride your bike usually in the weekend, from morning till dusk. You'd explore your town. You just didn't give a shit. You did it for the sheer enjoyment of it. Well, that's these cars, honestly. These cars, they don't care about the rules. They've got no roof, no doors. So in some cases, which will include this, there'll be no windscreen either. These are about the sheer enjoyment of travelling, exploring. The clubman style car, it will feed your senses. The noise, heat, cold, smells. Okay, look, if you're following a stock truck, there are some smells that can't be unsmelled. That's life. That's these cars though. You get in them and you see more of your country than you would be if you were enclosed in a normal car with your air conditioning on. Yes, they're noisy, they're uncomfortable, they're an experience, they're travelling. You know, I love to travel. I've travelled to some places around the world, and I certainly have plans to travel to more. I love stories. I love stories about travelling. You know, I have friends who have raced motorcycles at the Isle of Man. Wow, you know, that is so cool. They have sailed an Egyptian junk down the Nile, spoken to holy men in Tibet. They've driven VW combi vans through Europe and forgot about the blocks of hash they had in the back because, well, let's face it, they'd had some blocks of hash. You know, that travelling, that's what makes you rich. It's not money. Yeah, look, you can have a massive bank account and never have broadened your minds. When you travel, you meet different people. If you're traveling different countries, you're certainly meeting not only different people, but there's different cultures you get to experience, different points of view. That's what makes you rich. Having that broad sense that you can see something from another person's point of view, you know, how great is that? And again, that's these cars. If you've driven one, if you own one, you'll know what I'm talking about. When you're driving one, you can't help but smile. You're driving around, you've got a big old smile on your face, and it just doesn't matter. Okay, it may rain, you're still smiling. When you stop, eventually, you'll have people come up to you and talk to you. They want to know about you. They want to know about your car. You know, that's what's great. You broaden your horizon, you broaden your mind, you get to talk to people. It's a really good thing. Okay, so, and this is really bad to say, but it means that you're not stuck behind your computer screen watching videos on YouTube. Sorry. But that's part of it. Depending on what you're watching, you're just broadening your horizons, broadening your imagination. You're getting something to aim for. And I hope that even watching my little channel gives some people some inspiration to get out there and give it a go. You know, that's what's great. This hobby, it doesn't matter if you're good at it or bad at it. It's just giving it a go and enjoying yourself. Okay, so maybe it's not a Gen X thing, but I'd like to think it is. I certainly, most of the people that I meet are Gen Xers. So, but you know, obviously there are a lot of people a lot younger that get into these things and are just as passionate about travelling and broadening their horizons as, say, I am. So, look. Sorry I waffled on a little bit too much. As you can see, these cars and travel is my passion. And so, look, if you like what you see, hit like, hit subscribe. If you have any questions, I'll do my utmost best to answer them. If they're technical questions, I can certainly try and answer them as well. And yeah, you guys have a great day. And don't be afraid to just give it a go. See ya.